If you have infant twins, you already know you can count on dressing them in multiple outfits each day. Not because they are fashionistas, but because of the inevitable spit-ups, blowouts, spills, and everything else that gets them grimy. Between the diapering and changing clothes multiple times a day, you just learn how to grin and bear it. But what if there were ways to make it easier? Today, we're talking about hacks to make it easier to get twin babies dressed. This is Twin Talks.
The ultrasound shows your babies to be healthy.
What? Did you say babies? You're huge. Are you having twins?
Are they natural?
Which one do you like better?
Twins, huh? My neighbor's cousin's brother's uncle's a twin.
So can they read each other's minds?
How do you tell them apart? Twins? You got a 2-for-1.
Do twins run in your family?
Double trouble. You're not having any more, are you?
At least you're not Octomom.
If you're pregnant with twins or you're an experienced twin parent, odds are you've heard it all before. Now it's time to hear from the experts. This is Twin Talks, Parenting Times 2. Welcome to Twin Talks. My name is Christine Stewart Fitzgerald, and I'm your host. Just a little bit about myself. I have a set of identical girls, and then they were followed by a singleton girl. So my husband pretty much gave up, and we got a male dog named Shadow. So today we have guests with us, and we will introduce them in just a bit. So now if you haven't already, be sure to visit our website at newmommymedia.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which keeps you updated on all the episodes we release each week. Another great way to stay updated is to hit that subscribe button in your podcast app. And if you're looking for a way to get even more involved on our show, then check out our membership club. It's called Mighty Moms. That's where we chat more about the topics discussed here on our show. And it's also an easy way to learn about our recordings, so you can join us live. So let's meet our guests today. We have Sunny Galt of New Mommy Media, as well as our expert, Lauren Levy of Magnetic Me. And as we get started, I'd love for you all to introduce yourselves to our listeners and share a little bit about your experience with dressing twin babies. And I'm going to start off with a little question for everybody. So what was a big challenge for you in dressing your twins? So Lauren, how about you?
Hi, Christine. Thanks so much for having me. I actually had the reverse as you. I had fraternal twin girls after having my son, and that was like 15 months later. So yeah, things are really hectic. And then I had my original baby, which was Magnetic Me, and that needed a lot of attention. And I just remember those first years were beyond insanity. That's like literally the only way I could describe it. But I have to say my first challenge was when I was in the hospital and my one twin was born really small and she was under 5 pounds. And the newborn size clothing that I brought with me, she was just swimming in them when I put them on her. And it looked great on her twin, who was like 7 pounds. And I actually had somebody bring me from the warehouse a preemie sized outfit. And once I saw that it fit her, it made me just mentally feel so much better.
Oh, that's great. Now, I am curious, since you had a singleton, what were some of the challenges you had in dressing your first baby?
Oh my gosh. So when I just had one baby, my challenge is, how many cute outfits could I get on this kid? I mean, he had little baby boy suspenders and little hats and just shoes and for 6 months until I got pregnant with the twins. And then, a twin pregnancy plus a singleton was, that started the fun. But for those 6 months, it was just me and him. He was my little baby doll.
So Sunny, how about you? What were some of the challenges you faced when you were dressing your twins?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm Sunny, and I have a 6-person family, 4 children, my husband and I, and a dog. Our last 2 kids are identical girls. They're now about 8 years old. As far as challenges with dressing the girls, in the beginning, so I breastfed them for a really long time, and I was really into the skin-on-skin contact. I don't think they wore a lot of clothes other than their diapers for like the first year or so, unless we were going out, of course. But I really tried to keep it simple for the when you're breastfeeding, you don't have as much of the spit up, right? But just, I'd have them swaddled because I wanted them to sleep through the night. And I was just doing some different things. So when my girls came out, I had 4 kids, ages 3.5 and under. So I didn't go out of the house very much in the very beginning. We did get a lot of really cute clothes. So Lauren, I totally get that. Everyone wants to buy your twins, like amazing stuff, and your singletons too. They didn't wear most of it. They were kind of naked there for a while we breastfed and did skin on skin. So when I think back about our dressing, it's the common stuff too, right? It's like how many stupid snaps. And then you screw up the snaps, right? And then it's uneven on one side, and you're doing this at 2:00 in the morning, right?
Oh my gosh.
So
yes.
Sunny, maybe they just wanted to be naked because that's all they knew.
Right?
Exactly. It's much easier,
free.
guys, when your kids are just naked. Just let them run naked. Like, why not?
So I live in New York, so it's already like really cold here now. So I wish
Right?
we could not invest in clothing, but that's not an option.
Yeah, it's easier to do in Southern California. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, and I hear you. I could say on my side, it was a lot of it was kind of those midnight, changes too, and fumbling. And then, you wake up the next morning or 3 hours later, really. And you go, yeah, why can't I get this on? Why is it not lining up? And we kind of did the same thing too, of just, having them in swaddles, especially when they were young. I might put a onesie on them and I wouldn't even snap the bottom. I just like, okay, we're just going to wrap them up burrito style. There you go. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Every parent has like the flap is just dangling behind because you can't deal. I mean, I think but that goes to show like, snaps are really not fun and they're not efficient or helpful.
No.
Well, today we are talking about hacks to simplify the process of changing baby clothes. So Lauren Levy's the president of Magnetic Me, a twin mom, and inventor of a unique type of clothes that makes it easier to get kids dressed. So, okay, Lauren, how many changes do you have to do, or you think the average twin parent has to do every day when you include diaper changes, outfit changes? I don't know. I mean, from spit up or if, in your case, you wanted to do maybe some pictures or something like, I don't know. What's the average change time, you think?
So for a singleton, in the first 12 weeks, it's something like 8 to 11 times per day, diaper changes, right? And then maybe 2 to 5 outfit changes, depending on, who's soaking it through and what spit up and all the things that you said. So multiply that by 2, and it's a lot of time changing a baby.
Right. We think of like, okay, it's pretty simple. And once you get the diaper change down, you get it down. But I think we forget how many times a day we're actually doing it. And it just, and it really does add up.
And think of all the things you could be doing instead of doing that, especially if you're like lining up all those snaps, right? Like you could be going back to sleep sooner, or you can be literally doing anything else.
Right. Right. I'm so with you. I think sleep is probably the number one thing would be on my list, that I would prefer to be doing.
Right.
and then maybe eating something, right? Everything else is secondary. So
right, because it's like it's feeding them 2 times, and until they can't hold their bottle.
Yeah, you have to learn a system. Kind of, we'll talk a little bit later about like how does everyone organize themselves to be a little bit more efficient, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, we did like diaper changes and clothes changes like everywhere, anywhere, on the floor. I mean, on the floor of our house, on sometimes diaper changing station, on the bed, just like wherever it had to take place, wherever I could corral the babies and, try to keep the other one busy or, like that. But I don't know. How about you? So where do you think most of the diaper changes take place?
So I think like what Sunny said, when you have twins, you try not to leave what I call the mothership, which is your house. Everything you need, it should be, set up as efficiently. I guess I'm all about efficiency. So for me, it was, we had a changing station set up on the first floor, and then we also had an identical changing station on our second story. So everything was like there when you need it, because everything literally should always be at hand, and so you can get it done just quickly. But then after that, like when you are ready to venture out, whether you're in suburbia, literally I've changed babies in the trunk of my car. And when we lived in the city, it was like a park bench, or literally in my stroller. But
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
having like a plan of attack and having all your supplies ready at the go, that's the key.
Totally, 100%. I know. I'm thinking about when I go to the park and I'd be outside, and even when they were a little bit older, so even like toddler age, sometimes doing those clothing changes, it had to be outside. I mean, we've got kind of, maybe I have a blanket down here, but maybe they have sort of the blowout. I'm not anywhere near a restroom. So it's just trying to, use the supplies on hand in a way that makes it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I think we all have some horror stories, right?
Everybody has a horror story. Every parent.
Right? Yeah. So just like, okay, let's just make this as fast as possible, because, and I think as a twin parent too, it's just sometimes, when you're in a public place, people just don't understand. And you get those looks like, why are you doing it here? And it's like, because I'm here and because my twins are here, and it just has to happen.
Right. And I think, I haven't even explained like the beauty of Magnetic Me and our clothing. So we invented a line of magnetic fastening clothing, and we started with babies. They line up on their own. So like it lends you a hand, and they're all hidden inside the clothing so you can't see it. It's the easiest thing to use and the quickest thing to use. So like literally when you are out and about and in these strange places, especially with two babies too, I mean, it's all about speed and efficiency.
Oh, right. No, absolutely. Now I'm curious, because I think, you're talking about making it, easy and efficient. So like, how does that compare, when you think about a lot of the clothes that are out there that are, I mean, they're cute, but they're not really that functional. I mean, we all know we're not going to get, I was to say, like high top shoes for an infant. Just, right. And, and most often, they're with buttons or snaps, or, I mean, sometimes I've seen, Velcro too, but there's kind of disadvantages to that. So in many ways, I'm just surprised that we, no one else, even thought of this before. I mean, it's like, probably you had that light bulb, the light bulb moment of saying, oh, duh, like this is so easy, right?
Right. The baby world, I think thanks to Magnetic Me actually is really kind of shifted away from snaps. Like when we launched 12 years ago, there had really been no innovation in baby clothing for like 100 years when the zipper was invented. But snaps were really like the only thing out there. Parents today realize it's all about function, which is terrific, because lining up all those snaps like on a wiggly baby really was the worst. I'll never forget the look on my children's faces when like would zipper like their skin into a footy.
Oh, yeah. You're like, oh, sorry. Was there a moment, or, was there kind of a series in time where, like what inspired you to and led you to create the Magnetic Me clothing line?
So I actually thought of this even before I had children. I was changing my now 15-year-old nephew, which is crazy. He's that old. But first, when I went to feed him, I was trying to put a Velcro bib around his neck, and he was fighting me. And I thought, that's so weird. Like, what's the big deal? And then I looked at the little Velcro pieces, and there were patches of his little red hair, and it was hurting him. And I thought, why not a magnet? It would just go on like so quickly and easily. And then right after that, I went to change him, and it was a cold day, and he was screaming during changing time, and I couldn't line up all the snaps. And then my sister started screaming at me because her baby was screaming for a really long time. And the whole thing was so stressful. And I thought this whole thing should just be magnets, and it would, like magnets would just actually like lend me a hand instead of snaps fighting against me.
So, I mean, obviously you have, twins yourself, so you got to benefit with them. And I'm sure within the twin community and just your clients, what do your clients say about that? What's their experience?
Yeah. You know who really love us too? The dads.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because first of all, they make a really satisfying clicking sound, and it's like super, like they call them fidgets today, right?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, we call it the clack.
Did you hear the clack?
Like if you're a guy and you have like these little tiny outfit, and you have big strong fingers, and snaps are tiny. It helps.
Oh, that's funny. Mission accomplished, right?
Mission accomplished.
Well, welcome back to Twin Talks. So before the break, we were talking with Lauren Levy of Magnetic Me about the challenges of traditional baby clothes. So now let's bring Sunny back into our conversation too. So, okay. So Sunny, what did your diaper change and outfit change look like with your family?
Oh, I think it varied on a day by day, maybe hour by hour basis, right? It's like I have this whole theory of rolling with the punches, right? So it's like, oh, I'm getting hit in this direction. Let's modify and adjust. But I totally related to what Lauren was talking about when she said there's like multiple stations in her house, right? So it's like you got something on the bottom floor and you got something on the top floor. We had a few of these little changing stations, if you will. I thought it was always smart to keep a couple different outfits there as well, so you didn't have to run up and grab something out of somebody's bedroom. I'm trying to think back. Again, it was a little bit ago, but when my twins were in diapers, I think my older son had been potty trained already. So at least I only had to deal with 3 kids in diapers, my twins and then their older brother. So that definitely helped. And we definitely had a huge party when everybody got out of diapers.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's a diaper party. We had the same thing when people got out of cribs too. So we had these little mini milestones in our house for different things, right? As far as outfit changes, one thing that I thought was more helpful for the girls is that, and I don't know if this is because it was because they're identical twins. We did a lot of dressing them the same or almost the same, but maybe someone has a different color or something like that. So we would just kind of stock up these little outfits. I would have multiple outfits in the diaper bag, these little changing stations throughout the house. And because I got pretty good with knowing which color belonged to which kid, we had our own little method to our madness. Although now hearing all this stuff about magnets, I'm like, oh my gosh, that would have made my life so much easier. So I'm having a little pity party over here for myself, my younger self with my twins.
No, Sunny, like I am so impressed. Christine, I don't know if you did. I couldn't breastfeed. So we actually set up also 2 feeding stations because that was also just a huge lifesaver. I mean, even today, my husband's like, why couldn't you breastfeed them? We would have saved so much money.
Isn't that like the guy to be like, we could have saved so much money? You're like, do you know what it would have done to my boobs? Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
And my sanity.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Yeah. We know. Okay. Now I have to ask both of you too. Okay. My singleton was a little bit, spaced out there. There's 3 years between my twins and my singleton. So thankfully I did not have 3 in diapers all at the same time. So when you guys are talking about having 3 in diapers, I think, I don't know if I could have made that. So how many diaper changes were you making every day? I mean, like Sunny, when you had your middle boy in diapers still, and then your twins, like that would still be what? I mean, at least, how many? You got 3 changes times.
Oh gosh. Let's just say Costco is like our best friend. We ordered the diapers like in bulk.
Yes. I was going to say I had a late potty trainer. So I was still changing like diapers until one of them was like 4.5, and like a 4.5-year-old diaper is almost like adult size. It was just horrible. But so now my girls, like they think it's funny to make each other laugh until the point that they like pee their pants. Like this is now.
Oh no.
And so like we just went on vacation and they have like this their little secret thing. And when I start seeing, I'm like, oh my God, I know. So we're like in the middle of in London in the middle of a taxi. And I'm like, okay, I actually need to change you. And she's 8. So I guess I'm still not out of it.
This is why I don't travel, Lauren. This is why. No, I'm just
running to buy underwear and an outfit change.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, perfect example. It's we think it's supposed to stop when they're toddlers, but no, it just continues in different shapes and forms.
I'm like, come on, you're old enough. Tell me when you have to go to the bathroom. And she's like, well, it's the other one's fault. She made me laugh so hard.
It's her fault, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just about diaper changes. Like my kids are more messy now than when they were babies, right? So I feel like, they are constant. You should see how much I do laundry in general, like between 4 kids. It's insane. And I'm like, I'm gonna make you start doing your own laundry here because this is crazy.
Do you remember the times when you had to change if you have to get on a plane to go to grandma, you would have to change them in the airplane bathroom or how you don't want to spend any time there.
No, it's gross. And have you guys ever had a blowout at the airport? Like when you're really limited on clothing and stuff because it's all packed away in your luggage. That happened to me. Our flight was delayed and I think it actually got canceled. There was fog or something. And so we're at the airport and this apparently was the best time for one of my girls to have a blowout. And I did have some spare clothes, but when you're traveling, you don't have as much as you normally do. And it was one of those blowouts, you guys. I'm literally standing in line. I was traveling with my dad. My husband was at home. I'm traveling with my dad and all 4 kids. Okay. Myself. And we're standing in line. We're trying to figure out where our flight is going next or how we can get on another plane, whatever. And she has the worst blowout that comes out of the diaper. I am standing in line trying to figure out what is going on with our flight. Thank God my dad was there and could kind of handle that while I, with both hands, I'm holding her butt and her head at the same time. I'm trying to do all this stuff, grab the diaper bag, and it literally kind of leaked on the way to the bathroom. It was so bad.
Oh, you poor
That's
thing.
when you have
gosh.
you have to decide, are you gonna the undershirt gonna do it over the kid's head and then risk threading it, or you just get a pair of scissors and you just cut that thing off?
Oh, well, it was the airport. I had no scissors, right? They take everything from you that's sharp. So I can't even remember what I did, but I was mortified because I kept thinking there's drippage on the way to the bathroom and I'm not going to go back and clean it up. Oh God, it was, I'm going through a little PTSD right now, just thinking about it.
Oh, see, that is a great example of why you don't want to have to pull things over their head. I am so with you. Oh my gosh. So Lauren and Sunny, okay, got to ask a couple more questions. So since we're talking about hacks, what are some other hacks that you can think of that you can do, use for quick changes? So whether it's being at home or being on the go.
So for me, I have fraternal twin girls and I always bought double of the same item because it was just easy for me to know, okay, these 2 outfits are going for this change. And for some reason in my brain, that just made it seem easier.
Oh, right. So so when you bought an outfit, it was just okay, we just buy a set.
We're getting 2 of the same.
There you go. Yes. 2 of the same. It just, you don't have to think about it. Right.
Right. And it just made changing time just easier, just grabbing the same outfit for both. But, I guess it's a personal preference. Sunny, what did you do?
Gosh, with the twins, I'm trying to think. What came to mind wasn't really a twin hack. It was just more with my first baby because he was really, really messy and all the diaper blowouts and spit ups. And I think I only breastfed him for 4 months, my first baby. So there was a lot of formula spit up and stuff. And I remember going online, and this kind of goes with what you were saying, Lauren, about having multiple outfits. I remember going online and I was not looking for cute onesies or anything. I was buying in bulk the easiest onesies that I thought I could get on and off. And I remember doing that a couple times online, buying something, having it delivered to the house. They were probably, in fact, I know what I did. They were the ugliest things, honestly. They were like all white onesies. I bought two
Boring,
different kinds.
right?
I know. I bought two different kinds. One was short sleeved and one was long sleeved. They were both onesies. And I guess I thought that, if it didn't start out pretty, I wouldn't be mad when he just spit up all over it. But I do remember buying in bulk in that way, but I think they were just snaps and stuff like that. So it wasn't really easy to get on and off, but it was more just, let's get through the day kind of thing.
Oh, right. No, I can totally relate to that too, because I bought, like you said, just the boring white onesies. I think I bought them, the 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. I mean, yeah,
Yep.
I would buy 10 at a time
Yep.
easily,
Mhm.
for sure. And so, and I think there's some benefit for that too, that, when you have a pack, then you can put, you can stash them in your diaper bag.
Yeah.
You can stash them, the changing station upstairs, downstairs. You can give it to the grandparents so that they always have something on hand. So you're never out of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a huge help just to have them, something, extra ready to go. So you're never in a position of like, oh, what am I going to put them in?
Right. So it's funny that you say that, because we realize at Magnetic Me that parents do have needs for stocking up, and not everyone can, kit out their wardrobe with, some of the more luxury type baby outfits. So we actually just introduced a sister brand called Simply Magnetic Me. You can buy magnetic fastening organic cotton outfits in bundles. So you can, basically buy more and save. And then you can stock your changing stations and your diaper bags and your daycare with the same great functionality.
I love that.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that would have been
Yeah.
so helpful. Lauren, I wish I knew you 10 years ago.
Right. You haven't done something about it in life.
Totally. And I have to say, I mean, when you find something you like, you just want to go with it and not have to think about the whole process over again. It's just,
Yep.
It's there. So, okay. I want to end with one final question to each of you. So what kind of advice would you give new twin parents about buying clothes for their twins?
So the best advice I got when it came to having newborn twins is to invest in things that make your life easier. So, a new baby's hard on mom and it's hard on a parent's relationship, but two babies is even that much more challenging. So I would say to allow yourself to get what you need to make it through. So for me, it actually was having a baby nurse way longer than I had actually budgeted for, but we literally needed it to function with two full-time working parents. So if it's clothing that makes your life easier, go for it. If it's, loungers that you can stash them in a safe place that, that helps you, just go for it and go easy on yourself and don't worry about it.
I hear you. I definitely agree with that. Sunny, how about you? What advice would you give for buying clothes for their twins?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of the same advice, and that's just to keep it simple. I mean, it's so easy to get sucked into the cute baby clothes, especially I think with twins, and you're going to get a lot of attention anyways. So, why not dress them up so they look super cute? And I know that whole thing, I went through that whole thing. Having things that are practical, having things that are safe, right? So it's not just about how cute your kid looks. It's about safety. It's about how it feels. It's about, one of the things I look at is, the benefit to the environment. And I also like to support small businesses and things like that. So there's a lot of different factors that I look at, but simplicity, it's you just can't get that time back. Like I'd rather spend time holding my baby and loving on my baby, not changing diapers and doing all that kind of, and messing around with, snaps.
Right. Oh, the one thing I wanted to also add, and this is from a baby clothing maker. This is not just a twin mom. My advice is to not stock up ahead of time because your baby grows at different rates. So if you see a good sale, don't go crazy because your kid could fly through that size with a growth spurt. Maybe buy a couple pieces. And also really important, don't buy by age. So if the outfit says 6 to 9 months, it really your 6 to 9 month old may be half the size or double the size of an average 6 to 9 months. And baby clothing is actually cut to the average of boy charts and girl charts. But look for clothing labels that have height and weight like we do.
Yep.
So that is a better guide. It's not always exact. It's just a guide, but it's way better than age.
Mm-hmm.
That is great sage advice. Just, simplify and just, look at your kids, treat your kids, even though they are twins, treat them as unique individuals. And you don't even have to expect, even if they could be identical and they could be different, they can be fraternal and they can be different. So just, get what works for them and your family and work out a system that works for you. It's not going to look exactly like other twin parents. So I think these are all really great ideas. So I just want to say thank you so much to you guys, to our guests who joined us for this episode today. So be sure to check out newmommymedia.com where we have all of our podcast episodes, plus videos and more. Well, that wraps up our show for today. Thanks for listening. If you like Twin Talks as much as we do, please consider checking out the amazing businesses that sponsor our show week after week. And we'd also love for you to tell other twin parents about this resource, which of course is absolutely free. If you want to check out some of the other podcasts we produce, such as Newbies, Parent Savers, The Boob Group, and Preggy Pals, then visit our website at newmommymedia.com. Thanks for listening to Twin Talks, Parenting Times 2.
This has been a New Mommy Media production. The information and material contained in this episode are presented for educational purposes only. Statements and opinions expressed in this episode are not necessarily those of New Mommy Media and should not be considered facts. While such information and materials are believed to be accurate, it is not intended to replace or substitute for professional medical advice or care, and should not be used for diagnosing or treating healthcare problem or disease or prescribing any medication. If you have questions or concerns regarding your physical or mental health or the health of your baby, please seek assistance from a qualified healthcare provider.
Hey, mamas. Don't forget to check out Mighty Moms. It's our online community built for new moms just like you. Not only can you connect with other moms, but you can also join us backstage for special mom-only online events. And you'll also be notified when we're recording, so you can join us as a special guest. Visit our website, newmommymedia.com, and click on the Mighty Moms banner. It's free. That's newmommymedia.com. See you there.